Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You may not know me, but I'm about to know you. Hi, my name is Eliza Barker, and yes, I did in fact change my pen name slash my stage name slash my username. It is now penned by Eliza B, and maybe I'll have some fancy editing. If not, it'll be a slide. Sorry. I'm still learning the video editing thing as I go, and this is going to be a little update video because I said I was going to update once a week, and then I uploaded once and then never did it again. So, why did I stop uploading slash why did I not continue uploading like I said I was gonna? My job got, I'm fixing my bangs, sorry. My job got really busy and then my life got really busy and I decided I didn't want something to cause me a lot of stress. That's meant to be a creative outlet that I don't intend to make money off of. Would I be happy to make a little bit of money off YouTube, hopefully maybe someday? Yes, money is money. I would not say no to that, but I want this to be more of like a creative outlet slash video diary. As crazy as that sounds, I don't really care. That's how I feel about it. It's me documenting my like writing journey, which I'm going to touch on in a second because I've got some writing news, believe it or not. But yeah, so I moved. So this is a new little filming area. The light switches are light switching. They don't actually work at all, which is super fun. I think I'm gonna try to replace the bulbs that are up there because I think it could be cute, like overhead lighting, you know, like it'd be adorable. I like the idea of it, but it doesn't work right now. That's okay. So I will be getting more things behind my wall. There is something above me, you just can't see it, but I'm gonna try and get something on this wall that's more like decorative. Because I think that'd be more fun, don't you? Like a little visual, something to look at. I was thinking about getting like a green screen, but I feel like that could be a little excessive. Let me close out of that real quick so my lighting is a bit more yellow because I feel like, you know, some people have like tan blindness and they're like really orange. I feel like I have pale blindness where I think I'm way more pale than I am. So all my foundation just like is pale. Not the point of the video, but I feel like I feel like it looked really washed out in that. And my blush didn't blend the way that like other people's cream blushes do. I'm really mad. I think my skin's too dry for cream blush. I don't know. But I digress. So that's kind of where I was. I was just really busy and I kind of stalled out. Not everywhere creatively, but like in terms of wanting to sit down and record and try to edit a video, I got a little too intimidated to do it. I'm going to be very, very honest. I got too scared. I bought like a camera that I thought would be good for recording, and it turns out it was not a video camera. My fault. Good photography camera though. Glad I bought it, but I moved and I can't find the SD card. So back on the phone it is, which I feel like adds to a kind of cozy vibe that I am kind of into. It's like, yeah, we're on a FaceTime call, but I also have a microphone. Upgrades, people, upgrades. I think in the future I might try to get like a softbox light or something because I want that for other things. It wouldn't just be like for this, which I feel like could be wasteful. But alas, let's have a writing update. So I need to rewatch my first video because I can't remember a damn thing I said. But whatever work in progress I said I was working on in that video, I definitely stopped working on it. If it was well done, my sort of literary fiction, eating disorder, cannibalism book, I stopped writing that. It was too much for the headspace I was at the time. It was too triggering, and I got 20,000 words into it, said, plot's not working. This isn't working. Let me restart. Got 30K into the second draft, said, not working at all. Sat down, decided, is this what I actually want to be doing? And at the same time that I sat down and said, is this book, this literary fiction book, a good representation of who I am? Where I am at currently with my art, so to speak, not to be super artsy fartsy and melodramatic, but I'm like, is this what I should be writing at this point in my life? Is this the thing that needs to be written by me right now? And the answer was no. I started doing The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, which I have a lot of thoughts on that book. Maybe it'll be a separate video later. I've been doing the daily morning pages for several months now. It's probably been 10 weeks, but I'm only on week 6 in the tasks and like the actual reading of the book because I wanted to start doing the morning pages early to make sure that I could stick to doing them. And for a while, I was really good at doing them every single day. I've been stalling out on them pretty recently as I've kind of figured out my creative shit, so to speak. So instead of working on any of the work in progresses I probably described in my first video, my first actual author tube video, Um, I decided that I was going to write a YA rom-com, and the idea cropped up in my head after I watched La La Land, and then I visited a friend in LA and went around and did some touristy things and just walked around, had a really good time, ate really good food. If you're not paying attention to what's going on in LA right now, you really should be, because it's going to start happening everywhere else, and you need to be informed and aware of what to do if something like this happens in your towns, in your neighborhoods, and in your cities. Please keep up to date with everything that is going on, with what weapons people are employing against citizens. You need to keep an eye on that. Anyway, that being said, because that is weighing on my mind a lot as well, and is a big part of why I'm like, it's really hard to talk about creativity and writing and blah when there is so much harm and destruction happening in the world around us. Alas, I still somehow found a way to write a little YA rom-com despite everything going on around me. I started the book in April, and my goal was I wanted to write 70,000 words because I have a really bad habit of underwriting. It is my biggest folly on top of scene setting that I have as a creative, like as a writer. I just suck. I just can't write a lot. Which is funny because I write really fast, but I can't write enough words, it seems. So it's, I don't know, like a double-edged sword, I guess. Whatever. But I got to 70,365 words on May 31st. I wanted to have the book done on May 1st because I wanted to revise it in May and then have it in the query trenches on June 1st because it's a queer book. Because I thought that'd be cute and fun, and I thought it'd be a good test to see if I could fit a deadline. The issue being I moved, family drama happened, and things blew up at my job. Like, things were so busy at my job, I just didn't have the mental wherewithal to push myself to finish it by then. However, I feel like that's taught me a lot as a writer as well, which is I feel like, especially in the online bookish community for authors and writers, everybody, there's this kind of scarcity mentality where it's like, you need to go, go, go. You need to get in the trenches before XYZ agent closes. You need to get to that idea before someone else snatches it from you. You need to do this as quick as possible, but your book also needs to be as polished as it possibly can be. Like, hit the shelves ready before it even hits the trenches, which I have a lot of issues with. As a creative person, but also as a business person, I understand, like a business person, I say, trying to view my work as both art and a business has been interesting to say the least, but it must be done. If you want to make money, you gotta start thinking like a business person, a little bit at least. You know, we can't all be, flouncing artists who spend 10 years on a book, because the kind of book deals that come out that support that kind of author don't exist anymore. You have to be kind of on top of your shit these days, which is a little bit upsetting, but, I'm not going to be the next Donna Tartt. I don't want to be the next Donna Tartt. I want to be me. Yeah, I know, that was real Disney Channel cornball, wasn't it? But it's true. It's true. I don't want to be the next anybody. I want to be me. I want to take up the space as me. So, I wrote it, 70,000 words, a little bit more. And it is a YA rom-com. I comp it to, it's like Heartstopper meets La La Land. So that kind of twee, fluffy, queer romance meets like the entertainment industry. It's also like Victorious meets Glee. That's like the more like weird comp, is it's very, very inspired by Victorious, which is kind of hard to put in a query letter and have it be marketable. Like, yeah, this book is like if Victorious met Glee. No agent's gonna pick that up. Let's be serious. They might, but let's be serious. If I marketed it that way, no, that's not going to happen. But that's kind of the general, like, bones of the book. That's the vibe. That's the kind of first lick of the book, if you will. That's the first thing that hits your tongue. That's the vibes. And I started it in April, like the middle of April, April 18th, and then I finished it on May 31st. And by finished it, I do not mean I got to the very end of the book, because something I learned about myself as a writer is that it does not matter whether or not on a first draft I hit the end, because I'm not capable of moving on to the next project until a book in my head is completely done, like revised, etc. Like, I can't let something go until I believe it is done. So I got towards the end, realized, there are things at the beginning of this book, because again, it did not percolate in my head for very, very long. It was like, I have this idea, I have these characters, let me hit the ground running and see how far I get. And I got way farther than I thought I would. Holy shit. 70,000 words in like 3 months? That was buku bananas crazy. I didn't think I could do it, but I did. And I think it's probably the second time since I've started writing more seriously that a book has like exploded out of me, where it's like, yeah, that's what I need to write right now, is cornball, a little cringy, a little teeth rotty, a little dramatic, a little melodramatic. They're actors, they're dancers, they're a little melodramatic, these characters. And I wrote it. Boom, shakalaka. Like it came out. And I'm pleased with where it's at. It's probably the only book that I've written where I am reading it to do my reverse outline and I'm like, this is kind of good. Not like on like, oh, I'm just such a perfect author, it was so good on the first try, but I'm like, this has really good bones. It has the plot is easy enough to follow. The side characters are intriguing. The B and C plots make sense given the setting that they're in. It's good. As in like readable. Not like, fucking Hugo Award winner, but like it's a fun romp. Like it's meant to be a fun romp. It's not meant to be super serious. It's just meant to be teenagers getting through that awkward phase when you're in your senior year and you're starting to do your college applications. It's like, holy shit, I don't know what I want with my future. Like why do I have to decide when I'm 17? That doesn't make sense. While also facing the brutality of wanting to be in the entertainment industry, which is notoriously hard to break into. It's juicy to me at least. And I feel like it's grounded a little bit. And that's kind of what I wanted to write, was something more closer to the voice that I have now. I just turned 24 on the 2nd of June. Yes, I'm a June Gemini, so everybody better watch out because I'm freaking evil. I kind of had that epiphany while I was doing my morning pages that when I first started writing, the first book that I ever wrote seriously was for NaNoWriMo 2021, I believe, and I called it but I'm a Cheerleader X Twilight, and it was a sapphic vampire story, so it was very corny. It was meant to be very B-list movie. That was the best way I can describe it. It's meant to be sort of B-list movie, comedic, etc. And I never put that book in the trenches, but I did finish it, and I tried to rewrite it, and I couldn't. But it was fun to write, and it exploded. I think I wrote 18,000 words the first day of NaNoWriMo, which is bananas. I've never been able to do that again, by the way, and I don't think I ever will. I was possessed by, like, lesbianism and, like, Lestat de Lioncourt at that point. Like, I was feeling crazy. But this book came out at a similar speed. Not the same speed. Obviously, I didn't write 50,000 words in a month. It was much more spread out. But I used the same method because something I did on the first book that I put in the trenches, which I love vampires, it's going to come up again, was I wrote this middle grade vampire book, and it was horrendously underwritten, and it was the POV character. I thought I was being kitschy and like smart or whatever. You're not really going to know who she is. She's more focused on other people. It didn't read well, and that's a writing flaw that I tried to weaponize as like a purposeful thing. No, girl, no. It was a flaw. I got really nice agent feedback on that book, actually. And I'll do a video on like failing in the trenches twice, because I didn't really get into the trenches with my other book, right? But the middle grade book, it had a lot of my heart in it, and I used the Pomodoro method to write it. Other note about the middle grade book, I got a lot of partial requests, and bizarrely enough, I think like 2 full requests, and a lot of really nice rejections that were not forms, which still shocks me to my core that because it was not a good book. But the rejections were good. The rejections were like nice. They were like, girl, revise this shit, send it back. Did I revise it? No. And I do think that the revise and resubmit is a part of forms now, but when I was querying this book, that was not on a lot of people's forms at the time. Maybe it was, and I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I don't know. Circling back though, gotta circle back, right? I did Pomodoro. I would set a 15-minute timer. I'd write for 15 minutes straight, 5-minute break, and I'd go back to it. And that's how I plugged out that book. The issue being, because I was Pomodoroing most of it, I think I wrote that book over Nano in a month as well, which is, I don't advise that unless you're prepared to like be revising for a long time, in my opinion. I wrote my YA rom-com very similarly, where I would sit down for 30 minutes a day. That was what I dedicated myself to. You need to write for 30 minutes a day until this book is done. And that felt realistic to me because of who I am as a writer. I like writing. It is the most fun part of my day is when I sit down at my computer when I get home from work. I get home from work, I take my 30-minute nap, I get my ass up, I make myself a beverage, and I clickety clack on my computer for the next 5 hours. Unfortunately, a lot of that is fan fiction, but it's still flexing that writing muscle. It is still the thing I look forward to. So 30 minutes is not that crazy for me because I really love it. Like it's so fun for me. And that's what I did. Granted, if there were days where like I didn't want to write, I'm just going to look crazy for a minute. Days where I didn't want to write, I would not write. I would, however, have to write more the next day. Like I would do like an extra 10 minutes. And I broke it down with math because I was doing these in like a writing server that I'm in with my besties. If I did a 15-minute sprint, I could get about 800 to 900 words, sometimes 1,000 if I really knew where I was going with a scene. 10 minutes, about 500, 600, which is a lot. I type really quickly. It is not like I am just this magical human being that can put the idea on the page in nanoseconds. It's I'm at work and I'm thinking about the book. I'm thinking about the book. I'm thinking about the book. I get home. I'm ready to go. That's what it is. And then I type fast on top of that. I'm probably going to have so much arthritis in the future. Dear God. But the book really came out just like, Zeus with Athena just fell out of me. And it is the first book that I've written where I've gone back to reverse outline it as I start revisions because I need to rewrite the first 2 chapters because that's when the book was on its little baby deer legs. It's slipping and sliding and it's messy because the plot was at a different point until I hit the 10K mark. And then I figured it out and now we're an adult deer and we're walking. I know I need to rewrite the first 2 chapters and already I'm about halfway through the reverse outline. I know I need to add in more context chapters. I know I need to write in more scene setting. So the word count is only going to get bigger, which is why I set myself to write 70,000 because that's like industry standard for a YA rom-com. That's like that's a sweet spot. It's not a lot of words, but it's enough. And I was hoping that I would know how to add more, and I do. For the first time since I started writing in 2020, I know how to fix my book without wanting to kill myself. Crazy. And I have Julia Cameron to thank for that because I had a lot of time to think and marinate with that book and my creative process through the morning pages. I'll do a video on The Artist's Way probably in the next couple of weeks or so because I do find it interesting, and Doechii did it and that's why I decided to do it. Doechii's so talented, good grief, and beautiful as well, holy moly. But yeah, so no, I didn't write my lit fic. I didn't write any other thing. Whatever I said in my first video, didn't write any of it. I've got YA rom-com. And maybe I'll record more of the process for that, but it's there. It's there. I wrote a book in 2.5 months and I know how to revise it without feeling crazy. And I know that I can do it. And I have the confidence and faith in myself that I can do it. And I'm going to be re-entering the query trenches this summer, which is probably not a good idea. I know people are like, there's good times to query, there's bad times to query. Because agents are so overwhelmed right now and they're taking months to even get to queries, I'm throwing it in there because they're probably not going to see it until September, right? Like, I have a good shot. The book is good. I'm going to revise it so that it can be gooder because I don't know how to make it great and I can't judge if it's going to be great because it came out of my brain. Spoiler alert. I don't know if I wrote a great book. I know it's good and I know it's entertaining because I've gotten beta feedback where it's an entertaining book. Is it going to make you think super hard? No. I don't want it to be that. I want it to be something that teenagers can read. I want it to be something that they can relate to. I don't want it to be something that I can relate to or that people older than me can relate to. I wrote it with the teenage audience in mind, which I find very valuable for YA writing, but also because I am 24, like I mentioned, I'm still so close to that headspace of when I was in high school without having nostalgia around my high school experience, because trust me, it was miserable, that I feel like I'm really close to that voice when I write still. Like I still can capture that vibe without it being like, like nostalgia bait. Like not to be mean to other YA authors, but when something is written by a millennial author, because everything is coated in this layer of nostalgia, or there is like a bully plot that just would not happen for today's teens because bullying looks so much more different now than it did, you know, in the the noughts. Anyway, that's my update. So if you're like, what were you working on? Why were you dead? Why didn't you update? I was moving and then things hit the fan at my job and then my family hit the fan. And now they're all over the floor. They're not actually, they're fine. But yeah, I'm going to try to get more on recording, and I'm going to be trying to learn how to do better video, like smoother video editing, because I love like watching this kind of content where it's just person in front of a camera talking, but I know that my setup isn't the best, so I'm trying to, you know, compensate here and there. Anyway, if you do like this video or my other one, please feel free to subscribe below. I can't promise that I'm going to be updating regularly, but I'm really going to try to start, hopefully bi-weekly, if not monthly, a little video update. And I'll catch you guys out. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky, because my Blue Sky should be updated by the time that I upload this. If not, you don't have to follow me anywhere if you don't want to. I'm really bad at social media, so there'd be no point. I don't post updates or anything like that. I just am silly on Twitter sometimes and causing dramas every once in a while. Anyway, thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully, possibly, maybe. Bye-bye.